I'm really interested in what was the journey that Liz Gwyther took that started you on this really remarkable professional career of you've been the crusader in palliative care in South Africa, and consequently that's rippled out into a much broader field. So I'm so interested in what were the triggers for this?
Well, it was just clear that there needed to be worldwide, that everybody was feeling that palliative care was a stepchild and just wasn't part of medicine as it should be. Of course, in 1987, it became a specialty in the United Kingdom. So in the developed world, there was a great push to formalize palliative medicine and palliative nursing care. But in the developing world, it was still thought of as kind elderly women who were holding the hands of people who were dying, kind of thing. That's what care of the dying was all about.
So, but I wonder, Liz, can I challenge you in this whole big picture to kind of bring it home? Like, how do you make all of this policy, very well-meaning advocacy that is so focused on a global agenda? How do we bring it home to South Africa?
So there was initially a lot of energy in South Africa and commitment at Department of Health level to making sure that the WHO resolution was implemented. It took, in fact, 2 years. It was so every third year there was going to be a report from the governments back to WHO what they'd done. And so in 2016, our then Minister of Health suddenly thought, oh, we haven't done anything. And he put together the steering committee for palliative care, which was chaired, and people said that they've never had a parliamentary committee chaired by that level of individual. It was Dr. Spunkiseni Dlomo, who then was NEC of Health in KZN and a graduate of our palliative care diploma. So somebody who really, and a really amazing, compassionate, wonderful man. And so that we had our first meeting in May 2016, and in April 2017, Mpho Ratchikana took that policy, the policy framework, to the National Health Committee. I think they're called the National Health Committee, and they approved it. And not only in South Africa, but worldwide, people say you don't get policies approved that quickly. This was one that really had a lot of political will behind it. And I think that maybe is part of the answer to your question, Jeff, that we actually have to have the palliative care champions. It's great to have the kind of overall and the overarching policy and this, but I mean, at WHO level, Marie-Charlotte Bousseau, at National Department of Health level, Sibongiseni Dlomo, and also Sandhya Singh, who was in the Department of Non-Community. In fact, she did so much. I think she worked so hard at that department. But also the minister at that time, Aaron Watsaledi, and the DG was Precious Motsotso. So we had these key people. And then in the Western Cape, Quinita Aronsa, who is someone that I'd worked with when I was at Helderberg Hospice, and she was kind of junior in Department of Health. She was kind of our liaison with funding from Department of Health, but she knew from the ground up palliative care, and she's now a chief director in the Department of Health in the Western Cape. And she has done her PhD on integrating palliative care into the health system. And while she was doing it, while she was doing her studies, she was doing the actual integration. So champions are an essential part of this. And then I always say, but you're not going to get palliative care integrated if you don't have the healthcare workers educated. So from a bottom up, educating and inspiring healthcare workers has been really key. And there are people who will get it and get passionate about it, and there are people who think, no, palliative care is not for me, which is okay, so long as they know about it and they know who to refer to, and they know when they're not doing, when they no longer have the skills to help their patient.
Interested in, I just want to make 2 comments. Something that strikes me so much listening to you is that you've raised repeatedly is the power of collaboration. Yes. And the importance of relationship building.
Yes.
And I'm so struck that your career is in service to collaboration and to relationship building. And the consequence for us as healthcare professionals, when we can make these connections across disciplines, transdisciplinary ideas, it's really striking to me.
And it comes with another wonderful colleague of mine, Zodwa Satoli, who was at that stage the advocacy manager at the Hospice Palliative Care Association, and she said we need to reach out to traditional healers. And so we decided we weren't going to teach traditional healers palliative care. We would bring traditional healers and palliative care advocates and clinicians together and have a dialogue about, so what do the traditional healers do, and how do we understand their practice and their work and their caring, and this is what palliative care is. And they developed this wonderful partnership, which meant that the traditional healers asked for a training course in palliative care.
Who's Liz now, and where are we going to find you in the palliative care framework that we've been talking about now?
Palliative Care Galaxy.
The Palliative Care Galaxy. Oh, I like that. Yes.
Yes. So I've always said to people, it hasn't been a kind of planned career, this step, that step, the next thing. It's been as doors open or as paths become available, taking that particular path. So it has come that I've become an academic, still with links to advocacy, but the key goal has been to develop others and to make sure that then people can take over my role. So in the role that I'm in now is in guiding people like yourselves to develop their research ideas and to try and make sure, because I mean it's the same thing as that intergalactic palliative care. When we're doing a PhD, we actually want to save the world. Even our master's students, the research is huge, and we have to focus it down to something that's doable and recognize that other people are going to build on what we've done. So what can we do, and what's important that is our passion, and how do we research it to give robust evidence that then the educators or the policymakers or the clinicians can build on. So my role is in a kind of mentorship role, which I am really enjoying. And I also still serve on the African Palliative Care Association. And again, with that and with the conference that they had in Botswana, we had a wonderful innovations competition, and I've been asked to be a mentor for one of the 8 who sent in really wonderful, innovative ideas for palliative care to expand that reach. So that's where I am in the mentorship role. But I'm also a granny, and so that's going to take over, I see, and the hope, more and more of my time.